Okay, now I'm recording.
Cool, thanks. Well, hey everyone. Thanks for joining. This is our bi-weekly Stakehouse community call where we gather together and talk about different open source projects we're working on that are related to lowering the technical bar to staking and generally promoting the health of the beacon chain, and maybe some fun projects sprinkled in there too. I'm Colfax. I'm a part of the eStaker community and sort of helping take the lead here at Stakehouse. Joined by a few friends here, Remy Roy.
Hi there. Is
Uh,
this our third meeting? Our third weekly meeting?
It is, yeah. It's our third, and we're sort of figuring things out as we go here. But this is, I think, our third, community call where we've gotten together. Also here on the call is Invetica/Michael,
Hello.
Gray Wizard, who also goes by Sam,
Hey there.
and CY, who's working on an exciting project related to Kubernetes usage.
Hello, everyone.
So a couple quick things that have changed since last week. So I prepared a POAP to distribute for this call. And so anybody who's here on the call, I'm going to give you a POAP. A few people have already dropped that on your direct messages on Zoom. So just take a look there. Let me know if you haven't gotten one. And let me just send one more real quick.
I already claimed mine.
Nice.
Can't
Cool.
miss a POAP.
I know, never. So everyone should have a POAP claim link. If you haven't used POAP before, just go ahead and click the claim link and you can type in your Ethereum address or your ENS and it'll mint to that wallet. And we'll be issuing POAPs for all future calls, and we're gonna actually go back and try and retroactively issue them for the previous 2 calls that we've had. So it's just a fun way to track who's been participating and give a little POAP reward for anybody who's here. So without further ado, I have some thoughts on how we can maybe evolve this call even further, which I'll save till the end, but why don't we just jump right into sharing what we've been working on?
Sure. You want me to start?
Yeah, let's start with, why don't we just go down the list, I guess, from what we had from last week.
All right.
Okay, so for keygen tool, the Wagyu keygen tool, I spent a good amount of time working on it last week. There's a lot of sort of final tweaks that I've been working on. One of which is like working on getting a proper loading state working. I'm not 100% done with that, but I did post a PR. Thank you for your feedback, Remy. I'm gonna go visit that. I've also sent out the tool to a few friends and they've given me some UX feedback in terms of changing the wording in different places. So I'm still working on that. And eventually, I'd like to host a wider UX review. And so I'll let you guys know when that's going to be. And I've also created a bunch of issues that are things that I think need work, but I haven't had a chance to work on. So if anybody wants to just pick up any of those issues, just either grab them or let me know. Those are all on the GitHub. Also, if anybody's interested in testing, please feel free to test. And
Sure, we could
feedback.
post a call on eStaker for people who might be interested or like might want to give us some feedback. I'm sure there's a bunch of people who would gladly help us with that.
Yeah, I bet that's a good idea. I think, yeah, maybe once we get through the existing feedback, then we can do that. And that's pretty much it for me on that. Remy?
All right.
For Wagyu installer?
For the Wagyu installer, I haven't had enough time to go back on to my integration for the Eve's Docker. So unfortunately, that's gonna have to wait a little more for me to go back there and work on that integration. And I'm gonna be quite busy the next following week as well, for holidays and a bunch of other stuff. So that's gonna have to wait even longer, unfortunately. But yeah, I've been working on a bunch of other stuff. I don't know if you want me to talk about those as well.
Yeah, why don't you jump right into that?
Yeah. So I've been helping a lot on ETH Staker. I've been managing some of my own server issues, a lot of personal stuff there as well. I wrote a guide on how to do alerting with Prometheus for especially for like people who need to monitor their disk space. Like this is a common issue for Validator with the growth of the client database. So that's part of what I've been doing on my own server as well. Um, and then I've spent some times reviewing your work on the Wagyu keygen.
Cool, awesome. That's pretty cool. I guess, is there any, like, is there a repo or anything for the Prometheus monitoring stuff that we could take a look at, or
Yeah,
some other
there's
people can use?
it's on my personal repo here. Maybe that could be migrated onto somewhere else, but I just posted on in the chat the link to the guide.
Awesome, sounds good. Yeah, wow, this looks great. We could definitely maybe even post in Stakehouse or something and see if other people would find it useful. It could be good in its own standalone repo, or once we have like utilities repo with a collection of different stuff, we could post it there.
I added a new project idea regarding this. Maybe we can even like create a tool to automate the alerting setup. But like that should be like part of the backlist of all the projects we were thinking about.
Cool, yeah. Maybe Sam, can you create just like a section below the table for like future project ideas, and we can just always keep a running track of that? Awesome. Yeah, this looks great. I'm excited to take a look at this.
So that's pretty much it for me.
Awesome. Nice work. And I see you're constantly active on the eStaker Discord and helping people out, so great job with
Yeah,
that.
I like it.
Oh,
I like to help people.
Yeah. And congrats on officially becoming an eStaker moderator.
Yep,
I think
thanks.
that happened since our last call.
It won't change my life.
An internet police officer, as Buddha always says.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see what's next here. All right, so start stop button. I don't think Graspon or Rami Rond are with us today, but I worked with Rami Rond this week. We iterated back and forth on his work and officially merged the start stop button that he worked on. So now on the Wagyu installer, there's a button that will start and stop all your nodes. And so that I would consider this complete. It's merged and it's good to go.
Nice.
Yeah, so nice job to Rami Rond on that. Moving on to the next one, Gorley ETHbot. So most of my last couple of weeks actually was spent working on this Gorley ETHbot. So the eStaker had a Gorley ETHbot that we had working for a while. Then it got abused a little bit, and I think it was you, Remy, that helped integrate it with the deposit contract.
I believe it was Buddha who did that part, maybe. I don't know. And I helped him with just like a small part of it.
Cool. And so there was a need in the community for Rocket Pool to also have like a specially configured Gorilla ETHbot. So I helped sort of take our existing eStaker Gorilla ETHbot and just make it generic in the sense that you can now have whatever custom logic you want in a certain check before you actually distribute the ETH. And so I created a custom configure one for Rocket Pool, but then also open sourced the Gorilla ETHbot that we've been using with like a generic function where you can implement any checks you want. So that can be used by anybody that needs a Gorilla ETHbot on Discord. And the documentation isn't amazing. So if anybody tries it out and has any feedback on the documentation, feel free to send a PR or let me know what you get confused on. But yeah, anybody that needs a Gorilla ETHbot on their Discord, feel free to use that. It's on the Stakehouse GitHub org.
So I'm going to mark this as complete, Colfax. Is that right?
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome.
Okay, Avado, go ahead.
I was just going to say, maybe we could do this one next.
Yeah, sounds good. Avado DApp node multi-client support. There's just been some ongoing conversation about what needs there would be. There's nothing specific to report here. But again, if you're interested in this, please reach out to me and I can get you plugged in.
Okay. That takes us down to some of this stuff. CY, last couple weeks ago, I guess when we did this call, we just took your updates that you provided in the Discord and then ported them over to this little document. And then I updated the wiki from Stakehouse with like this little table. And so we're going to look to do the same thing. So
Cool.
do you have any updates that you'd like to share on this?
So not much time working on this in the past 2 weeks. So right now this remains very accurate. Thanks for doing that. That's cool.
Okay, cool.
Awesome, nice job. Next thing, utility script repo. I haven't had a chance to work on this at all, but this pretty much, yeah, status stays the same for next time.
And then we've already done this line. Okay,
great.
I guess those are all the lines. I'm dying to bug Michael about his new microphone setup though. I just want to hear him say a couple words into the mic again because it sounds so good. It sounds great.
Which microphone did you get, Michael? Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's like this. It's like the industry standard broadcasting mic. It's one of these. They're really
cool.
sweet.
Are you saying that sounds better than my native Bose microphone that's in my headset? One day I'll be cool enough to have an external microphone in front of me. Not quite
Michael
yet.
sounds like Ethereum Frank Sinatra right now.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, cool. So I had a couple other thoughts just to share, like on this call, for future community calls and sort of like making this more of a thing. First of all, I think maybe we should just pick a time that we do the call at every other week, just so it's deterministic, so everybody can just have it on their calendar. And then that way we can announce it, if you guys are up for it, like we can announce it publicly on the Stakehouse channel on EveStaker. And if anybody wants to either join to share or even just join to watch, for now we can keep it very casual. And like if anybody just like raise their hand and wants to present what they're working on, we'll be clear on like what the goals are and like sharing. And if there's any like issues, then we can maybe have like sort of check projects before they present. But I think we can just say if you want to share whatever you're working on, I think it's good to be inclusive and have anybody join. And so I guess in terms of timing, I mean, so in previous weeks we did it at 11 Central Time. This week we did it at 11:30. Did any preference, like would 11 to 12 Central Time every other Wednesday work for everybody?
That works for me.
Yeah, works for me as well.
Cool. Sam, Michael?
Oh yeah, I'm flexible. I got no problem with this time slot.
I'd say it's a good starting point for me. Like in general, I can probably make that work, but not, maybe not every time. So that's a good time.
Cool. Sounds good. We'll start with that. We can always change in the future, but at least just locking that in for now. So I guess our next one would be, let me just bring up my calendar. Today's the 14th, I guess the 28th at 11 a.m. Central Time.
Yep.
Sweet. And then maybe a couple days beforehand, I'll post that on the EveStaker Discord in the Stakehouse channel and just talk about what we're doing, we can post a link to this call.
And opening the call to like more people or like to the public could be a good part of what we were talking about like in the previous meetings, with onboarding new people to join Stakehouse or be part of Stakehouse. So yeah, I agree with this.
Awesome. Yeah, I totally agree. And like in particular, I've been talking to some folks at Steerium and they're interested in getting involved in Stakehouse. So I'd love for them to join the next call. I'll reach out to them and a few others. So I think, yeah, just having this sort of be like a public check-in. I don't know if any of you guys go to the DeFi Dude ETH network calls on Sundays. But basically the general structure of those calls is you share some updates about what's happened in the past couple of weeks. And at the end, anybody can kind of talk about different interesting projects they've seen. And I like that format in terms of just like having an open call for people to be able to pop in, learn a little bit about what's going on and share what they're working on. So, and get to see Michael's latest podcasting toys.
Right. Is it appropriate to put, like, I've got a small inkling of an idea I'd like to propose. I don't know if that's something that the group would be interested in for a future project.
Yeah, definitely.
It's something I don't know if it has legs or not, but it would be like a POAP tool. So this would be, I'm sort of envisioning like discord.poap.xyz, and then you would see cards of community discords that you could join. So like you would have like a eStaker card or like a Stakehouse card. But what would happen is you'd sign a message, it would scan your wallet to see if you have that community's POAP of any form. And if you do, it gives you the invite to enter into that server. It also could be used for like garnering a little bit of privacy and make sure that only certain members are getting into areas. I don't know if that's, I could see value in it and how like we use and run our communities, but I don't know if that's like something anyone is motivated or wants to bite into.
Well, yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. Yeah, I guess if anybody's interested in working on that, definitely reach out to Michael. It sounds interesting to me in terms of like using that as kind of like a Sybil resistance for like joining discords and stuff that can be used by a lot of different communities.
So there was a project I also proposed on ETHStaker. So the way GoF are now distributed is with a buff that knows your validator address, and so we can now figure out if your validator gets activated, and like if you're running your actual validator, you can see it attesting properly. And so I proposed like doing a bot to check if you did a deposit on a testnet and we can see that your validator is working properly, just congratulate people for completing their test and like maybe even giving them a POAP. So that could be another interesting project, but I'm not sure if it's worth including this one in Stakehouse, or maybe it is, I don't know. But like as part of that, we could also like query people if they need additional support, if we can see that the validator is not attesting properly too. So
yeah, I like the idea of having an external check that can let you know like if your validators are testing properly. That could be very useful, even for mainnet too.
yeah, there might be like additional privacy or doxing consideration for mainnet, but like for testnet, maybe it's worth doing.
That makes sense. And I guess like from a doxing perspective, I mean, it's kind of on the user to decide whether they want their username doxed relative to their address. Yeah, I like that idea too. Cool. Cool. Yeah, just one thought to share. I mean, I guess we're kind of flying the plane as we build it here with Stakehouse. And like our broad goal is to build tools that decrease the technical barriers to staking and promote the health of the beacon chain, and also just work on some other fun projects like the decentralized graffiti tool. So I just want to just think out loud and stay on top of it. That definitely seems like it's related to like staking and stuff. The POAP tool for like entering into Discord seems like, I guess, a little less related.
My bad. I kind of
staking.
lost sight of that. So you're right.
Yeah,
we can take that off. I kind of forget this is like a stake thing.
So I have to say, like, I like the idea, and it's definitely helpful for the community. So I think it's fine to leave it on for now, but I just want to, as we get this going, like, I don't want it to get out of hand where like people come with like totally unrelated projects and say, hey, like Stakehouse, you should work on this. But I do like this. So like, I want to keep this here because it's something that we could use for Stakehouse. It's something we can use for eStaker, and Stakehouse and eStaker are kind of one and the same. But I do just want to like note it publicly that like something that should be on all of our minds is how do we keep this community not like where people go to try and get free dev help.
Right.
And like something that is a core tenet of what I think all these projects should be is everything needs to be open source and be like for good faith, like in the community. So I think it's fine to leave for now, but I just wanted to note it here that that as like sort of this evolves, let's just all just make sure that the community sort of stays with the right ethos. Cool. So I guess that's pretty much it from me. Everybody looks like got their POAPs. We are going to meet again in 2 weeks. That's the 28th at 11 a.m. Central Time. That we will also record. We will also have a POAP. And yeah, I'm excited to chat with you guys again then.
Very cool.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. And Michael, I'll coordinate with you offline to post this on the Stakehouse YouTube channel and things like that.
Awesome.
Sweet. Great. Well,
Thanks
thanks
for
for coming,
everyone.
guys. Have a good one.
Nice